Whew, gang, it's been a long weekend, but a tremendously fun one because we just wrapped up CritterCon 3. I can't believe I've had 3 of these things already. It is crazy. My voice is already blown out. I cannot believe it. And I just want to thank everybody who came out to play in CritterCon and enjoy all these great tabletop experiences. I want to thank all the GMs that put their time and effort and energy, especially our guest GMs that came in from outside of our Critterverse and really put some heart and soul into these. And of course, last but certainly not least, I want to thank everybody who donated to the cause, who put their money out there and helped us help other people. And thank you so much. That is hugely tremendous, especially in times like this. Now, that's not all we have to talk about today. We've got a big episode coming out. But I do want to say, we just recently wrapped up our March Madness Challenge, our Monster March, which is weird to think that the basketball tournament didn't happen, but, you know, here we are on the other side of those things. So, we have a winner. The winner is Evil Sauce. Yay! Evil Sauce. Woo! All other winners will be reached out via email. So, of course, our Monster March contest. What won? Of course, Space Goblin was the favorite playable with our old buddy Android right behind. With that said, let's get back into this episode. It's gonna be a great one today as we get into some space combat. Episode 131, Breath of the Terminus Wild.
Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
Fly through those rings and use your power shield and equip your twin lasers. Oh, it's time to take another intergalactic Star Fox Finder adventure this week on Cosmic Crit. It's time to do a barrel roll with me, your GM here on the show, aka your great monarch commander of the planet Venom. And joining me on Space Rails, Shooting Action are my 5 players and wingmen. To my right, she applies the wing gyro and flies straight and true. It's Rebecca rolling with Zinnia.
Hello.
Across from her, this fine feathered friend is a sure shot as aiming at a stationary target practice. It's Drew delivering Echo 7 Lombard.
Do a barrel roll.
To my right, always quick with a quip or tip, he's a gunner from the starship. It's Tyler dredging up Pepe DeBascio.
Tutorials.
Across from him, not the good android Andis, but the evil monkey man Andros. It's your bird playing his tryst.
What's the big deal, Patrick?
And across the digital table, this tiny toad is as hard to hit as a moving target. Whites Miles mixing it up with Slippy Sprouts.
Good evening.
Hey, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Everything's great in the entire world.
Not a thing is wrong.
Nothing's garbage. It's great.
Woo, woo, woo. Nothing is garbage except I have bad news, everyone. Very bad news in the form of this is the end of book 1 of Fate of the Fifth. I'm sorry to say. No more basically homebrew adventures from your GM.
Just TPK us. Start over.
You can play it all over again.
Yeah, do that forced march one more time. Except
But now we're ready. It's like New Game Plus, except
you guys
That
play
is not how that works at all.
You play 5 vanguards with formation boots and the next on. You're like, ooh, we're marching.
We could double time the whole time, right? What about triple time?
We're gonna triple time this forced march. Yeah. After this week, I can no longer take 100% of the blame for the ills and fates that befall your characters.
I'm going to blame you anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll still be like 90% me, but someone else will have written the base adventure. But yeah, we can't push this off for too long. Are you guys ready to get back into it this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Sprouts first has to recount the epic final encounters in the hangar bay. Remind us what happened last time on Cosmic Crit.
The air in Sescalon is as cold as a kiss from a corpse.
and we ain't aiming to stick around for a second date. My ears are still ringing from the sonic trap, but I only have my fool self to blame for that one. This little mushroom thought it could delay the Midnight Company from scooting off this rock, but we sauteed that sucker real quick. Reinforcements came down furiously from all sides. We circled together and held off the small bugs to take out their boss. After that, it was easy pickings. We gassed up and got the pronk out of there. Everyone took their positions, and when the call came for captain, I found myself picking up the receiver. Been kicked around my whole life. Guess it's about high time I start kicking back. We took off, only to find the biggest bug I've ever seen in my misbegotten life trashing the city and gunning straight for us. You might want to hop out the pot, dear listener. Water's about to boil.
Oh my, yes indeed. And boil it shall. For this episode is not starting aboard the Terminus Wild, but once again, inside a psychic memory. Jabert, unlike the others that Tress has experienced in this AP so far over the last few days of the Sheeran's life, it seems like this memory is the dark parody of emotion. You get a feeling washing over you of serpentine creatures, no eyes or mouths, just feeling out their existence in this gross servitude, constantly groping over their path for eternity. And then you get the feeling of them being consumed as a dark force rolls over them, fear and pain stretching across in eternity as their DNA is ripped out of their body one cell at a time. An excruciating experience that seems to last for ages. And it's this feeling that washes over you after the five-headed swarm lord screams at you, Trest. And it's an unreal feeling that kind of locks your arms at your side, clenches your mandibles, keeps you in your seat, stirring a primal fear, something that the Sheeran haven't felt firsthand maybe in hundreds of years since splitting off from the swarm. Tress is a soldier and has seen battle, but has he ever experienced something like this before? Is this something that he can handle? They can handle?
I think there is a time in the recent past when they've trained with another magic user who would they would take turns casting fear spells on to sort of hone their skills. And there may have been a time when there was sort of a taste of this. Like if this was like a little jalapeno, then what Trest is currently experiencing is a big old ghost pepper, but
A Carolina Reaper.
it's a reaper of sorts, of Carolina sorts.
Oh yeah, no, you weren't at PAX when Miles brought up the hot sauces, and we did a spoonful of Da Bomb.
No, I missed that.
That is
I thankfully missed that.
And my girlfriend tried to make everyone do more.
It was an experience, and yeah, it's something that eating a normal pepper doesn't prepare you for.
No, it doesn't.
It's another level. This is the same thing. You think, a lesser being experiencing that psychic scream. It could have just made them go completely crazy. You remember back to Suthres Susaro, who maybe wasn't handling the war so well. But as you break into the upper atmosphere, it's stuck in your memory, but the echoes of it begin to fade away. And it's about a half hour and so until you guys will get, near out of the gravitational hold of the planet. You have time to rest here. On board the deck, the command deck of the Terminus Wild, is that the map you're on right now? Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yes.
Feel free to take a look around this map. Does anybody need to take a 10-minute break, or is anyone into HP damage? Because
Zinnia is.
Tress is for sure.
Zelenan can come up to the bridge. He has communed again with the Forever Queen that morning. And so, he stumbles onto the deck and is like, "Oh, everyone below deck is resting, and I've put the kettle on. And there's also some non-perishables to eat in the galley. How are all of you?" And he will indeed extend a mystic cure if anyone needs it. So Xenia, you said you need one?
Yes, please. I'm also going to take a break.
Okay, Max.
Sweet.
Max back. I believe that is 15. I'll double check. Oh my.
Way more than I needed.
Yeah, so it's oh no, I'm sorry. It's an 8, so only 12.
Still more than I needed. Great.
Trest, you were in HP as well?
Yeah, I'm down 10 right now.
Boom, Max back again. I'm the best at this game, guys. 2 8s on 2d8. Devasho, how many hit points? You're down like all the hit points, right?
Yeah, you see Devasho, and he's just like his chitin is chipped, and he's just blood covered. Mechanically, I'm at 6 out of 22 hit points.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
I wish I hadn't taken that.
With no stamina and no resolve left. So he's just kind of looking like maybe he's fading in and out of consciousness. He's looking
Oh gosh.
Extremely bad, and he's still his mode is still kind of suffering from when he used all that energy, so it's still kind of spazzing out a little.
I'm not going to roll an 8 on this one. I can feel.
No, you're going to roll a 1.
Oh my goodness, Tyler.
I call my shot. I'm the Babe Ruth of this podcast. You want a 1? I'll get you a 1, sucker.
5 points of HP back.
Oh yeah.
Zelenan goes up to heal you, and like
he just like trips. He just like trips and like lands on, like puts his hands right on your breasts.
No. Weird.
Jesus Christ.
Let me describe this because it actually makes sense for Tyler's character. Yeah, he recoils to your touch as you are looking sallow. You're looking very tired, and you have these like kind of dark rings around your eyes, and he kind of flinches, maybe in fear for a second, and is like, I'm sorry. Let me heal you here, my son. Yeah, he does give you 5 HP back. He, keenly eyes you, Trest, as he's healing you up, his antenna twitching, and psychically kind of calls out to you. Are you okay, Trest? Did you feel its imprint on your mind?
Its call is strong, but we are one.
As you guys are resting up here, eventually a sense of quiet overtakes the bridge, and you guys can relax a bit, enjoy a beverage if you want. Is there anything you want to do while you're exiting Suskelin's atmosphere?
Take a nap.
Glass of water. Yeah.
Echo 7's going to take a look around and see what's on this ship.
We could take a quick tour here on this floor. As you exit the command deck, there is an elevator immediately on your right. And then down a short, bring out my measurement tool here, about a 55-foot corridor. There's a couple of doors, crew cabin, as well as a little galley, restroom, obviously, unisex restroom, the captain's quarters, and then at the end of the hallway on this floor, the reactor core, the power core, and where the drift drive would be. And then if at the back of engineering there's a set of stairs down. And if we follow Echo 7 as he's clanking around, you see a few of the evacuees here in the bottom level of the ship, in what is the cargo bay. You see the cargo lifter you brought on board here, the large box that is marked return to sender, the drift drive. At the very aft of the ship, there is a larger entrance for the cargo bay, as well as 2 escape pods. And then in the middle of the ship, we've got a holographic amusement chamber, a couple of executive suites. This would be for whoever actually owns the vessel, each with its own private restroom. And the front of the ship on the viewing level is a large lounge with almost 180 degree view of out into space. So this is like the viewing level. So you're taking a full tour. What else does anybody else have anything they want to do?
Yeah, is Xantos on board?
Yes, he is at the computer, the science officer station on the bridge.
I think if she has time, Zinni might strike up a conversation with him, maybe sort of on the down low, not really letting other people hear. So I came across some very interesting specimens. I thought maybe we could trade some notes on the swarm.
Oh, did you find some new bugs for us to examine? I would be very excited to do that. Perhaps we can make a makeshift lab here until we get to Ultranius.
I think we should. I managed to procure a sample of a corvusite. I hadn't seen one of those before. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get a sample from the Corovox that we fought, but we were in a bit of a hurry.
You also got that cerebral fungus.
Oh yeah, I did.
I believe you mean convasite. I would
sorry.
hate
Convasite. Excuse me.
I would hate to correct you, like I made the name up or something myself. I want to be a jerk about it. The funny thing about that is, while I created that bug, I believe it was given a different name by Jason Keeley, the editor. I forget what it was called, honestly, to begin with. Dredger stuck around, though. I think Dredger was the original name. Yeah. So as you're talking to him, you guys are lifting off in the space. He is doing some other work. Zinnia, you can talk to him across the bridge, kind of as well, if you don't mind other people hearing, to his science station. But maybe as you're regaling him with some of your stories, there's suddenly just dozens of warning flashes coming from the computer as your ship starts to automatically accelerate. And Xantos says, Marlo, I'm reading hundreds of small objects in our flight path.
So Marlo just kind of nods knowingly. I'm not sure what he wants me to do about it right now.
As you guys continue to travel forward, the computer starts to kind of holographically map out what you're seeing in the inky blackness of space over Ladar, and your ship seems to be entering into a massive debris field, thousands of kilometers long. You see larger pieces of ships start to get holographically put together and can make out Susquehanna Defense Force starship like wings and things like that, as well as swarm vessels that have been destroyed here, just littering the sky above the bug planet.
Can we call out to any of the Susquehanna ships to get kind of a sit rep?
I mean, everything that you are picking up right now is destroyed. Do you want to send out
okay. I thought some of them might be still active.
Yeah, I mean, you can scan for SOS, but there's nothing incoming right now.
Okay.
Xantos kind of goes back to his computer screen, hunched over, and says, potentially, those are the lucky ones. They say when your ship goes down out here, it's relatively fast death.
We don't have a drift drive installed on here, do we?
No, and towards that end, Xantos says, Science Officer Zinnia, I'm sending you parameters for flight paths to Ultranius on your computer when you have a chance to look over my work. We are many days away, though, without a drift drive. There's a brief pause as Xantos kind of furiously types into his computer console and then says, well, Marlo, I'm reading 2 ships using afterburners in an intercept course with the Terminus Wild. Well, what are your orders?
I guess we should, I don't know.
All hands to stations, prepare for battle, charge guns, right shields.
No, don't do anything. Let me shoot you, please.
Gideon, start evasive maneuvers. Everyone else, to your stations. We're in for a bumpy ride.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Xantos gives you all a very fast readout of the Terminus Wild and says, a gyro laser, a twin laser, a laser net, and light plasma torpedoes. Who exactly was this Gar Malgero, and why did he arm this pleasure cruiser like it was a flying fortress?
Well, he was a very particular Vex. Won't be another one like him.
Vex?
Isn't this the Vex from before?
No, this is
that's the Aldemaric.
Oh.
Gal Malgero is the shady merchant guy, I believe.
Oh.
And did you say Vex or Vesk?
Vesk.
Okay. Well, he said Vex.
I heard Vex.
Did he say Vex? Oh, I heard Vex.
If only we recorded this. Xantos says, listen up, STF members. This is a private vessel, Flux Industries observation catch, and it was made for sightseeing, the rich socialists, the political dignitaries, things like that. But thankfully, it's been up-armored, and it's got a strong offense bolted onto it. The AC, the TL, they're rated at a 15 with Zinnia at the wheel here, and they've got 10 shield points in each quadrant. With Captain's permission, I'll rebalance them where they're needed. There's a Mark II duo node computer. I'll free up some processing power for you all as you see fit. And the weapons complement is stacked in the front with laser cannons. The turret has a defensive laser net, and there's an aft light plasma torpedo launcher.
All right, make it so.
Yeah. You guys know we are in some Starship combat.
So, Drew, here's the question. Do you want the twin laser? Do you want to hop on the forward weapons, or do you want the turret?
You
can bounce between them, on your turns.
Yeah, because are you going to be gunning, Jabert, or are you going to be doing other stuff?
I figure I'm going to be gunning at this point. And so
it has been so long since we've had a honest to goodness Starship combat here on the podcast. Doesn't it feel like it's been forever?
Not long enough.
Feels like it's been forever.
Feels like it's been approximately always.
Well, that's what happens when it's at the very end of the book. I guess we've been 14 or 15 episodes in this season so far before the first Starship combat. So the Terminus Wild is a tier 3 vessel. You get a nice little boosted vessel right off the top. If you guys remember, first thing in Starship combat as these two vessels are coming up on you is we both get engineering phases. There's no one in your engineering bay, right?
Nope.
Incorrect.
Engineer not required.
Because at the beginning of the combat here, all at once you hear your comms spark up with a familiar voice, the video readout confirming your worst fears as he says, this is Raz down in the engine room. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to try and hit this engine if it starts acting up. Just let me know what you want me to do.
Oh no, Captain, vent the airlocks, quick.
Vent the airlocks.
He's helping, okay, guys?
Okay.
All right, he didn't help this round. He rolled an 11, but he has no bonuses to engineering, but he's pushing buttons down there. He's going to help out. This is a team victory. Next, we're going to head into the helm phase. Captain, do you know where you want to, Miles, help some people out? Do you want to act in this phase, or?
I'm going to act in the gunner phase.
Okay. All right, so...
Sprouts thinks Zinnia's probably got this pretty well handled.
She's got wings. She knows how to fly, right?
That's how ships work.
Let's hope.
It's during this phase Xantos scans the enemy ship. I did roll this before we started.
Xantos.
Oh, you're going to help with your chief action? Okay.
I'm going to attempt to manually realign some things on the ship.
Now, this is a new comm action for...
Correct. This is called manual realignment. It happens in the helm phase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a bit of an athletics checks here. And if I succeed, and the science officer also succeeds, they receive one additional piece of information as though the result were 5 higher.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's DC 6. He definitely succeeded at least once, so you'll be getting some more information.
Yeah, so hope this is 10 plus 1.5 times the starship's tier. So let's see how I do. Oh, I got a natural 20.
Hey, baby.
Okay, well, yeah, I succeeded. So he gets to treat his success as if it were 5 higher.
Excellent. So, unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna. He rolled like a 26 on these things, but
well,
I was about to say you can. I think at that level, you know everything about these things, and you can assume they're the same because they have the same kind of hull makeout. But scanning one of them, he confirms. Marlowe, this is a swarm fleet fury. You've tangled with these before, and Zinnia, you know what we're dealing with. I'm quite sure. Let's see. So yeah, I guess that was it's like a 29, I think, in total, actually, with your bonus here, Tyler. So that's everything about the Swarm Fleet Furies. Feel free to just Google them if you want.
Yeah,
go to our archive of Nethys, but Xantos will explain to you and our audience and says, these are fast bugs. They've got a a good maneuverability, but a speed of 12. The vessel has an AC and TL of 15. It doesn't have any shields, but they're hardy bugs reinforced with living steel, and they got the equivalent of 35 hull points. There's torpedo launchers in their front arc, and they can easily beat our shields with a solid attack. So be wary.
Cool. What was the ACTL again?
15.
15.
Same as you guys, I think. So, cool. Oh boy, we are getting into it. Let's do some opposed piloting checks. How about that, Zinnia?
All right. I have to say, as Rebecca, am very excited to actually have a role on the starship that I can actually fulfill. Very exciting.
So, yeah, you were kind of in the lurch as Alindra and took the gunner pretty often, right?
Yeah, the Solarian.
Science.
Well, and then she was promoted to captain. So
Right.
It was okay as captain, I guess. But, I mean, she wasn't stellar at anything. Stellar, yeah, pun intended.
And then Talara, what did she do? Was she a gunner as well? Yeah.
Witch Warper? Yeah, she was a gunner, but she was terrible at it. So hopefully Zinnia will turn things around for me. And
All right,
Let's hope you're better at gunning it than gunning it.
First roll,
Right,
I'm going
right.
to roll piloting for these guys. I will tell you, I think you got a better piloting than them. So let's see what the dice say. Oh my goodness.
Yes!
I like that.
I've rolled the 1.
All right, it's a 21 from Zinnia.
Okay, a little overkill. Boom, boom. And I'm moving the Fleet Furies. And actually, this one's going to come down over here, a little bit closer to you guys. Turn in. Okay, so they have moved first, and they started off right next to each other, and now they have split off and are doing a kind of a pincer move right now, both looking at your side shield. So one's on your starboard and one is on your port, and a little pincer move. But they were outpiloted potentially by this pleasure cruiser. What do you want to do, Rebecca?
Well, I want to get them in my forward arc, but they are too far apart for me to flip and burn and be able to get either of them in my arc.
In the front arc,
Yeah.
So with the flip and burn, you are able to move some as well.
Yeah, but only half speed, so I can move
Yeah.
3 hexes, and if I turned 180 degrees after that, I would just, my arc would be right between them, right?
You could, I think, yes, you could get one of them in your front arc if you flipped and burned and turned towards one of them. And that would, actually, if you did that, that would potentially leave one in your front arc and one in your aft. But that's a hard maneuver, a flip and burn for your first piloting action on the ship.
Yeah, especially a cruise ship, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh no.
you're flipping Avenue 5 over on its side.
So, yeah, exactly. So I'm
Dead
thinking
treasure starts floating
I can't control the ship, by the way.
So just a heads up, flipping and burning is the whole move. That's like you don't get to move after you flip and burn. Like,
Right, yeah, you
the-
can't turn in addition to
You
that.
can't
That's
turn
why I say
after
flip
that.
and burn wouldn't be a good option here.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Am I thinking of something else?
I mean, just moving.
Yeah, I can move. I could just simply turn in place, or I could just move around. So 1, 2, turn, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry, let me give you control of the Terminus Wild already. So which way are you thinking of turning?
So I'm thinking I don't think I can target both of them at the same time. So I can I'm gonna try for the one that's sort of to the east on the map.
With your front facing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't think you can get both of them. I've too artfully placed these guys, but turning towards your starboard, you are aligned in its front. It's aligned towards your front, and I think if that's all you want to do, that is fine.
Well, I was going to move. So I was going to go 1, 2,
okay.
and then turn, and then 3, 4, and then turn, and that
Gotcha.
puts it in my front arc, right?
Right. So yeah, that will move you a little further away from this one that was on your port, which might be a good idea because I think the light plasma torpedoes, I think you might just be getting out of their first range. 14, so maybe. All right, so let's get to the gunnery phase. I think we're all done with helm, right?
Yep.
Oop, nope, you're still within torpedo range for that. Do you guys want me to fire first?
Yeah, why don't you go for it? I'm gonna use the point weapons to try to defend.
Okay, so you have one coming towards the front, more than likely, and one coming towards the starboard. Now, the heavy laser net works if it does hit, you get a chance to shoot it out, right?
Yeah, sort of the point special weapon property. You only get one gunnery check to do this per round. So
Yeah, but it's a
you gotta
free
pick
one.
Yeah, but it's a free one.
So if a tracking weapon would hit the ship in an arc that contains a weapon with a point special property, it's on the turret. So that's basically all of them.
Yeah. So let's see. 1, 2. I'm gonna try to deflect the front, and 3, 4. I'm gonna deflect.
I have to hit first, so you actually can hold
Okay,
off.
I'll
on
just
those.
wait. Okay.
But let's just assume that I hit with both of them.
Yeah,
let's
that
roll
seems
the
likely.
dice. Oh my goodness! Oh no!
Well,
That was almost 2 20s.
Oh, I saw it coming up. Oh boy, a 20 and a 2. I can tell you that 2 is gonna be a miss. That 20 definitely hits.
All right. Well,
So-
I'm gonna try to deflect that 20.
So you're trying to beat. You're not trying to beat my roll. You're trying to beat 10 plus the tracking weapon speed, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Can you tell me what that is, just for my edification?
Of course, I know exactly what that number is. No worries.
Oh, good.
For a light torpedo, I think it's 18. Let me just double check.
Oh boy.
oh boy, you need to roll a hefty sized number.
So I need to roll an 18 on this thing.
Did you get what, a +3 to fire it? So you're looking at a
No, it's a plus 10 to fire it because it's a point weapon, and it comes with a built-in plus 10.
So
Oh, okay. So you just need to roll. You need to roll an 8.
the speed
Oh, I see.
in hexes is 16. Is it 10 plus 16?
Yes.
Holy-
So I got to roll a 26 on this. So I need a 16
Okay.
or higher.
16
Okay.
or higher. Well, you can do this. It's not
Well,
possible.
now, do you have computer aid? Do you want to take one of those now? Mark II Duo node.
I'm seeing a big nod from Tyler, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, hold on, because actually Xantos has already done his action this turn. He cannot help. But go ahead and take that 2 and make that roll.
Yeah, I know that the captain was holding his action to the gunnery section, but
would
it's
have-
okay, Captain. It's okay, Captain.
Even if you can't shoot this down, I'd have to roll very high to knock the shields down and cause a critical threshold.
Oh, good.
So
we don't have an engineer, so let's just try to.
So close.
14 on the dice. No, it's not going to do it.
Wait, with the +2,
But
does
with
that
the-
include the +2?
Plus 2.
From
For the
the
computer.
node from the computer.
Yeah, the computer bonuses.
plus 2. 26.
26.
Yes.
We did it.
Do you have a plus 10 normally? Or it's the point
Yeah.
weapons thing,
Yeah, it's
right?
the point weapon is a plus 10.
Oh,
So.
goodness gracious.
Ooh, that was so close to Bryce.
I forgot I took the computer for a second.
That's why I was nodding so viciously.
I'm mad at past Patrick for putting a weapon that defeats torpedoes on this thing. Like, why would you do that? You could have just had a 20 right now. Okay, so both of those miss because one is shot down midair, and you've got this one off your front arc now, within range of, oh my goodness, one of the biggest weapons on the Terminus Wild, that twin laser. Range 20 hexes. Jeez Louise. Are we going to Captain to provide a little motivation now, or
Yeah.
what do you want to do, Sprouts?
Encourage.
All right, so that's the Diplo one, right?
Diplo, that's right.
Dippy.
Oh,
And that's a 22, which is a success because the DC is 15.
all of a sudden, Captain Sprouts is on Echo 7's shoulder, and what are you whispering in his ear?
Oh, I mean, right now, because I'm not trying to give him any pressure, I'll just be like, no, you can do this, buddy. You came through on Sescalon, you can come through now.
A tiny elf fan is like stroking the side of your face, Drew.
And you got one. You got a computer, right? It's a duo node, right?
Yeah.
Yep. There's one saved for you, Drew. So
So
how can you?
it's a +2 for that computer, right?
Yes. How could you possibly mess this up, right?
Oh, we'll see.
How dare you spoil this,
You
Patrick?
got this. Drew, last time you were in a ship, I think you rolled like 320s. So I think you're meant to be in a ship.
Oh, that's a 5.
I think you're meant to shut up, Tyler.
So that's a 5 plus
5 on the dice.
5 on the dice plus 5 for my BAB and Dex bonus plus 2 for the computer. So that's a 12 plus 2 for the encourage. So that's a 14. If I've done that math right.
Yeah, that's a fail. AC on these guys of 15. So close, but so far. Hey guys, we all missed in turn 1. Let's go to turn 2 and wipe the taste out our mouths. Raz down in engineer, and it's like, nothing's really happening down here. Everything's A-okay. I'm doing a great job, guys. He's going to try and divert. Oh, no, everything's going bad down in engineering. He's hit himself with a socket wrench, and
Oh boy.
I'm figuring this out. I'll be back. I'll be back next turn. Helm phase. Actually, yeah, there's not a lot else we can do in science unless if you guys have any particular plan, like if you wanted to run, Xantos would suggest rebalancing shields to like throw points in the back, but it looks like we're staying here and fighting, which means he is going to do another new comm action. Called, let's see, prioritize calculation on the command terminal, suspending background computer tasks, and it gives a bonus to one crew station. One crew member attempting to check this round using the bonus from the ship's computer can increase that bonus by 1. So one of the Mark II Duo Nodes bonuses is going to be a 3 this round.
Nice.
Because I believe he actually does this automatically. Let me just double check.
That is a very great action.
So that's what he is going to do on his turn. And let's get back into Helm. Tyler, was there anything you want to do as Chief's mate here?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I'm going to attempt the hard turn,
Right.
which this lets us. And I just imagine Devasho's just running around, just plucking all sorts of crazy things in. But if I succeed, the pilot can make one turn during the round as though the maneuverability of the starship were improved by 1 step. So instead of having to move 2 squares, you just move 1.
Okay, so that moves you from 3 turns to 4 if you can succeed at this. Now, the DC of it is, I'm guessing...
10 plus 1.5 times the starship tear.
So that's a 14 on, I'm guessing you're going to do athletics?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, yeah, get to turning that wheel, boy!
Oh
no.
Yeah, that's a fail. But I did not fail by 10 or more.
Toot, kaboom.
Toot, kaboom. So, Devasho, not useful this round.
Oh no. Okay. So no bonus there. Rebecca, let's do that roll off.
All right.
And I'm not going to roll 1 this time. You can't make me do that twice in a row. With your voodoo magic. Ooh, I've rolled a 5 though. It's still pretty
20.
bad. Yes.
20 from Zinnia.
I'm moving first. And boy, howdy. The one on your aft is going to try and keep you there-ish. It's going to move here, and this one is actually going to stay where it's at, and I guess just fire at you, right? Yeah. Maybe we'll back off a little bit. Let's back off a roll. Is that a hard one? Back off is easy, right?
It's not hard, but I think it is a check.
DC 10 plus 1.5 times tier.
Yeah.
I think back off what I was thinking of. You move at half speed, yeah.
Yeah.
Not flip and burn where you get half speed. So yeah, no, they actually have a chance to fail this, so I'll roll that. Okay, so this one makes it. He's just going to back off a little bit. Pop. And you can move now. So they're keeping a good amount of distance between you and them. It looks like both of them are about 10 hexes away.
Okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
So when I'm counting hexes, so I can move 6. Does that include turns, or the turns don't count toward the 6? So I can go
turns do not
1,
count.
2. Okay, so 1, 2 turn, 3, 4 turn, 5,
Correct.
6. Okay. I mean, I could chase this one.
And you guys can focus fire on one of them if you want.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to chase this one to the left or to the right, so that I can get some more distance between us and the one on the left.
If you're able to get within 5 range increments, you can also fire the laser nets. As a weapon and not just a defensive weapon.
So how far?
5 hexes.
Okay.
Go give that Fleet Fury a hug.
Yeah, I mean, I could just move right up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like right there.
I would recommend you evade if you're just gonna move your speed.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
call.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
How do I evade?
Evade's a simple one as well. It's 10 plus 1/2 the tier, so we're looking at a 14, DC 14.
All right. So this is for the evade.
Passing
25.
with flying colors. Flying colors indeed.
And just going to move right up to it. It's still in our forward arc, right? Yeah.
Yep, both of you are still in the forward arc. This other one is actually in your aft arc as well, so if it looks like we only have a couple of people left to do gunnery, unless the captain wants to jump on a gunnery station. But that is up to you. We'll move into that phase now. Miles, there are 3 potential guns on this thing. Now, it's up to you if you want to just remain a captain or if you want to take up one of those or do some other action. It's up to you.
I'm going to remain a captain for now, especially while we're one-on-one here.
And what do you want to do?
So I'm probably going to try to help Drew.
Okay. With just encourage?
Yes.
All right, that twin laser, if you can get it working for you, is pretty major.
I'll go ahead and fire it then.
17.
Diplomacy is a go. Diplomacy is go.
And Drew, you're taking a computer, right?
Yes, I'm taking a computer, so I've got Miles, the computer, and let's do this thing. Hopefully,
Now,
I roll a little bit.
Do you want to
better.
take? Do you want to take the optimized +3 computer this round?
The what?
There's both a +3 and now a +2 this round to use for the computers. So
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that +3.
Xantos Loche, where it's like furiously typing in to maximize your guys' Duo-Node computer. It's like closing out of background windows. He's in like the task manager. He's blowing on
the hard
this
drive.
CPU. He's like, "You've got this. You've got this." Echo 7.
In the pipe, 5 by 5.
Make that a tick there. Oh, it was almost that 2. It joggled from the 18 to the 2 and then back to the 18. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I did.
18 on the dice is a hit. Jeez Louise. So with the twin laser, go ahead and roll 5.
5d8. 16 points of damage.
All right, not high on a 5d8, but I will tell you what, that is enough to get past 2 critical thresholds. Woo! Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Let's we have another potential gun here with Trest firing that laser net. So why don't you go ahead and do that before we roll all of our critical thresholds.
All right, I'll do that right now. This is +4 because I'm taking one more computer.
Oh yeah.
15.
That'll do. Pew, 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 pew. And the laser net for this thing is that 2d6?
2d6, yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. Ow. 3.
3.
Aw, beans.
Making a 19 in total from you guys on this one. That is not going to give us another threshold, but it is 2 of them, which means let's go ahead and get to the critical.
Can I roll one of these? Drew, will you let me roll one of these?
Yes, you could roll one.
Okay, you
So
go
it's
first.
2d100.
So the first one is going to be 49.
49 is a weapons array.
Yes!
Oh my goodness. So it only has a single arc containing weapons, which means it's going to be glitching out.
All right, here comes the second one. 57.
Oh my goodness. Weapons array again.
Yes! Well done, gunnery team. Wow.
Malfunctioning. That will not apply this turn, unfortunately, but oh boy, that guy got a -4. Oh boy.
Yes!
Reactions here on out. Okay, let me go ahead and fire their torpedo salvos. Now, once again, you can use the laser net in addition to fire it in the same turn. So let's see how these numbers shake up against a 17.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna shoot against that 20.
Another natural 20. And I will tell you, this 11 is a hit too. Oh my goodness, Jabert!
So I rolled a 28 against that 20.
Yes! How dare you, Jabert? Stop knocking away all my 20s.
Point weapons, A+, gang, A+.
All right, this 11 though is going to be hit on the aft. So let me roll that damage. This is
right in the aft.
2d6. Do we have a song about that? Oh no, it's 2d8. Oh, it's even deadlier than I thought. Let's do it. Ooh, 10 points of damage. Shields are down in the aft, but no damage to the hull.
That's all right. That's all right.
That is round 2.
Direct hit to the aft hole.
You guys are all set to turn 3. Raz is in the back, and obviously he's going to try.
Hold on.
Restore points.
Don't roll.
Right?
Don't roll yet. Yes, I'm thinking of trying. I think I might try to help Raz.
Oh my goodness! By diverting to the shields.
What does he have to roll? He's just rolling flat, right?
DC 14. Yes, so he needs to roll 14.
Okay. Well, okay. So I think we should give Raz one of the nodes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm thinking we try so here's my thought. I can use maintenance panel X, and if I succeed and Raz succeeds, then he gets to use the divert. They can choose 2 different systems instead of 1. So he could do he could like divert to weapons and these shields, or
that's so high.
Shields.
What do you have to roll for that?
Just 15. Same 10 times 1.5. So I'm thinking I try to do that for him, and then see if we can't. Hopefully he rolls high.
I'm sorry. What action were you looking to do for
the maintenance panel access?
And no, what did you want him to roll? He can only divert.
Divert.
Yeah. So he can't divert to 2 things, right?
No.
This lets him divert to 2 things.
Oh, really?
What I do lets him divert to 2 things.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and if he could divert to 2 things, then what I do lets him divert to 3 things, or if he could do 3.
Oh, so it just gives you a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Maintenance panel access. Read what it says in the book here. It's hilarious. You're like in Jeffrey's tubes.
I know. This is, you start ripping open access panels, turning secure valves, and manually bypassing safety systems to help the engineer get more power out of their systems when they take the divert or overpower out.
Zelenon's behind you as you're like tearing a bulkhead apart. He's like, I don't think that's how starships work.
Devasha was just literally ripping off metal panels and just pulling.
I'm going to tell the captain I'm a Solarian. It's okay.
Oh goodness,
boy. I don't know if you want to give him a node or not to try to help with passing. But we are.
It's up to you. Do you want to roll yours first?
Yeah, I guess that would be prudent. I can definitely fail this. Oh, what's the DC? I rolled a 14.
I think it is 14.
Oh, nice. Okay, I barely passed it. So if he can succeed.
Now, does Captain Marlowe want to give some wise words to Raz?
Yeah, I think he is going to...
What's your encouraging words to your favorite NPC, Miles?
Intimidate.
We're doing demand.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Intimidate?
Sorry, I didn't roll intimidate.
Intimidate's your better one, right?
Oh, yes! It's a natural 20, so.
Oh my goodness. Hilarious. So you can only do this the demand action once per person, but succeeding at it, which you did, gives them a +4 to this action. Do you want me to take the computer now, or do you want to just roll with that +4? This is a question for the entire.
What bonuses does he have now at this point?
Nothing.
It is +4.
+4. So D20 +4. It's a 50-50 shot right now.
Yeah, like all he has is the +4 I just gave him.
Oh,
I mean, it's 50-50.
I mean, Valhalla, guys. Valhalla.
All right,
Give it to him.
+6.
+6, baby.
+6.
Let me roll.
Come on, Raz! MVP Raz!
5 on the dice. He's like, Captain, I really have got no clue what I'm doing down here. He's like breaking a monitor with a ratchet.
Does Raz have a book 1 reroll?
Oh, definitely not. He's got a book 1 curse reroll where I have to reroll that and take the lower of the 2. So let's see here. I've rolled another 5. He's rolled 2.
He's slow but steady.
That's the engineering phase, guys. Sometimes don't work out for you. Helm phase. Let's roll off, Rebecca.
All right.
Pew. I've rolled another flippin' 5. 3 in a row.
I think you got Tyler's dice somehow, but with all these 5s.
Let me check my desk.
So that's a 17 from Zinnia.
This one's going to try and back off again, and it does. And this one will try to evade, which it does. I'm great on these rolls, but not quite on anything else. Okay, and let's go here. They're trying to keep you between these 2 ships, and one is still on your front arc and one is still on your aft. The aft is exposed now. I will say that.
Yeah, all things considered, considering our aft is exposed. I don't like that term. And
Captain, our aft is unbuttoned.
The ship we have been attacking is now pretty much dead in the water because their weapons array is shot, right?
Well, I can roll well, Rebecca. Calm down with dead in the water talk. I can roll very well.
It would take a very, very good roll to come back from 2 critical thresholds against the same
I've rolled 2
weapons array,
already.
right?
I've rolled very well.
So I think that it would be prudent to turn around so that our forward arc is facing the other ship. Anyone feel strongly against this?
It's fair.
I disagree. I think we should maneuver to get our starboard arc pointed towards that ship and our forward arc pointed towards either if we can catch the forward arc of that ship or their port side.
That's an interesting idea, Drew. Next time you should put points into piloting. I'm with the pilot.
I think you're talking about a physical impossibility right now, as this. I don't think the ship can turn that. Well, no, it's
pretty slow.
Yeah, actually, if you move forward and turn, that will put the ship behind you in your starboard arc. I see what you're saying, Drew. That will preclude you from using the aft weapon on the other ship. But will cover your aft.
I mean, it's up to you. I'm just thinking we've got blood in the water, and I would rather take this ship out before they can repair its weapons than
that's the prudent.
It's a fair point.
Amranta gunner.
We can still attack with our aft. I just want to make sure that our aft is pointing toward them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what he's saying is pointed away so that they would only be able to fire on your starboard,
which still has full shields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm suggesting still having our ship between them, just facing the opposite direction.
I guess because they wouldn't be able to. Well,
they wouldn't be able to fire on our aft, so there's no danger in showing it to them.
Are you talking about a flip and burn, Rebecca?
Yeah, I could flip and burn, or I could just move.
Flip and burn.
Flip and burn. I'll flip and burn. I'll flip and burn. I always want to flip and burn. So, I'm going to flip and burn. This is actually the perfect time to do it. So I can move half speed and turn 180 degrees. So I'm going to move 3.
It's so hard. It's DC 19, Rebecca. You're crazy now.
We'll see if it goes off. Oh, no.
Thank goodness it doesn't.
Oh, no. So I just don't turn.
Yeah, we're going right back to where you were. Exactly. Oh, so sweet.
I'm sorry I failed you, crew.
Gunnery turn 3. Once again, Xantos Lotort is going to focus in on your console. Echo 7 is going to give you some enhanced targeting parameters to get this ship. So you're getting a +1 bonus to hit. This is another new thing called range finding. +1 on attack, roll, or skill check related to starship combat. We've already had our captain's order, so let's get to shooting. I'm going to go first this round and fire on your front arc with a -4 to this gunnery check. Oh, it's not good. It's so bad. Oh, 3 on the dice. That goes wide, believe it or not. And the ship, the Fleet Fury that is on your aft, has been rolling rocks. Is another natural.
Oh no!
Oh, this is what you didn't want to see. Now,
Oh boy, here we go with a big.
can Trest knock down 3 of my critical hits?
3 crits, baby.
3 potential critical
They call me
hits.
old 3 crit Trest.
Can you do it 3 times and deny our Patreon subscribers these 3 hits?
I wonder if I should help.
We got a +2.
Oh, you
We
already
still
did,
have a
baby.
+2, right?
Yes. Yeah, you've got a plus.
All right, Drew, how do you feel about this guy?
No, well, you've only got 1 left, I should say.
Right. Drew, you think you can hit this guy in front of us?
I've got the bonus from what the other dude was doing, so yeah.
Cool.
Take
You've got
it.
a +1, so you
I'm
want to take
gonna
the
take. I'm
+2.
gonna take a computer +2 here.
Okay.
Can Sprouts help too?
No, Sprouts has already done his action. He's already demanded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he intimidated that NPC. Here we go.
Need you to roll low here to burn.
Oh, 23.
Oh, that's not going to do it. Oh, no. Excellent. So 2d8 coming at a exposed hull, and Xantos is there like, oh my goodness, brace for impact! 10 points of hull damage to the Terminus Wild as it is racked with a torpedo hit on its like back fin. Does not cross your critical threshold here, but as I roll the 20, it does get a single critical damage to a system. So let me roll that D100. A 76. That is your engines.
Oof.
Condition applies to all pilot actions. So a -2. It did hit that like back thruster that you were just fueling up, Rebecca. So glitching until that is fixed.
Which means forever because no one can fix it.
I don't think we have any other. Oh no, Drew, you still need to fire.
Yes.
Go ahead and hit this one that is in front of you. You got the +1 here, so.
That's an 18 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
All right. 5d8 damage coming at you again.
Oh goodness, I forgot how much this was.
15 points of damage.
Oh my. It's so close to dead. You've done 34 points of damage against 35 hull points. But hey, you've done 2 more, right? Yeah, 2 more critical thresholds, so let's roll those D100s.
All right, here we go.
I swear to goodness, if you just take this thing's guns out right now, I'm going to be so unhappy.
76.
That's its engines.
15.
15 is sensors. Oh, thank goodness. It still has a chance.
Curse.
Because after malfunctioning, it goes to wrecked and it wouldn't be able to fire. Okay, but it's got a -2 pilot action. Okay. That is turn 3, I believe. Let's go to turn 4. Raz, he's doing his best, folks. Come on. Give it up for Raz, everybody. Do you want him to try to fix the engine or the thrusters, the pilot glitch?
You might as well try.
Yeah, might as well try. Does
Awesome.
anybody have any engineering that could sub in for him? That we
No.
wouldn't put us-
Only our
Zinnia,
pilot.
but
I could try to assist him, or Devasho could try to go down there and smash buttons as well as anybody else. I guess Devasho could go down there and try to divert if he tries to patch. Yeah, Devasho will run down there. There's like alarms going off and everything, and he's not being very useful.
Raz is like, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here, dude.
Just try to patch these malfunctions, and I will divert power to the aft shield.
Oh, so you're going to try a different action.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to do 2 different things.
Okay.
Because I mean, a +2. I don't know if that's really good.
Does
You know?
anybody want to take a computer bonus?
No, we'll just raw roll it.
All right, I'm going to do that for Raz. I've rolled another 5 for Raz.
Natural 20 on that divert.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, baby!
Hey.
You're diverting power to the shields?
Yeah, Adros just like slams his moat into a computer, and the moat
Dross?
just like,
Ross ain't doing that. Fleam on this ship, Tyler.
and shame on
God, there's a lizard on here. Get him out of here. Kill him, quick.
I was looking at some old season 1 notes. I'm so sorry. Devasho just like slams his mote into a computer, and it just like sparkles with dark energy. And
Did you say Adrasso?
Adrasso,
Yeah. Cool.
Devasho.
Oh gosh, that creepy mashup. So your moat is helping you out here, you say?
Yeah, and we're
Whenever
gonna.
you roll a natural 20, it's like the moat did it.
The moat did it. Yeah, Devasho definitely did not do it.
That's going to get you 6 shield points back.
Yeah, so the aft regains back to 6.
Cool. Helm phase. Let's do a roll off, Rebecca.
And I have a -2 to this, right?
Sadly, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I rolled well for the first time.
It's a 24. Did you beat me?
Yes, I did, just by 1.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I've rolled a 17. Thank goodness.
Should have taken a computer.
I know.
And that means you're going to have to move first this round.
All right.
Maybe to right there. Maybe like move forward and then turn into him.
Like really close to him?
I mean, yeah.
That seems like a bum puzzle move.
Yeah, I
just
love
saying.
that because I remember the self-destruct stuff that almost killed us last time we tried.
I know,
that.
but
Oh, well, you're
No. There's no
surrounded.
I know, but
There's no self-destruct on the Fleet Furies.
right,
I
yeah,
was actually-
we know that from scanning them so good, right?
Yeah, you know everything about them.
Yeah, I mean, I could just get right up on it
Mm-hmm.
and almost block it from going anywhere.
The one that is almost destroyed, you want to just get all up in its grill.
Yeah, it can't shoot very easily anyway, right?
True. It's got negative to piloting as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to move here.
Okay.
Is that right? Wait, is that right? Is it in my arc there? Or my forward arc? Do I have to
Technically.
turn?
It is. It doesn't matter because it's going to move.
Okay. Oh, right.
10, 11, 12. We're all the way back, baby. And this one's going to move up on you. Both of them moving to put their front arcs towards your back.
So
Do that.
okay, yeah.
Both of them. Well, one of them within 5 hexes of your aft. Basically, back into like a chase position. That is helm phase. Let's get to the gunnery once again. We can switch where you're on if you want, Drew, and Xantos will still give you a +1 bonus if you want to jump on. The aft of the Terminus Wild has a light plasma torpedo launcher.
Yeah, I think I still want to sit in the forward arc where nothing is in front of me. No, let's get on that aft.
Oh yeah!
I'm gonna help.
Yeah. I guess you go ahead. You go ahead. We blast out the front arc of that one ship?
There's no shields.
Okay. So there aren't any shields.
Yeah. They're just.
Do
they're
you
just
mind
getting
if I
blasted.
take the shot on the one that we've knocked
yeah.
down?
Yes,
Since I
in
do less damage?
Do that because I think
This
we're
closer
still-
one is very weak. Yeah.
And we're still in the same firing arc, right? 5 because it's 5 hexes for the turret or for the torpedo launcher.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm
guess
gonna
we're 6
take a
hexes
shot
away,
at the I'm gonna take a shot at the very wounded one, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna take a computer for that.
Computer bonus, and you're gonna support Echo 7 sprouts.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's just do.
So this is +4.
Yeah. Don't even need to roll that damage because.
But I'm gonna.
One is gonna do it. Oh. 4 damage. Yeah, this one.
More than one.
This one will be destroyed on this turn. Let me roll its last torpedo, which it gets out right before it is blowed up. Bingo, bango. Oh, a 5 on the dice. It fails terribly.
Yes!
That one's so sad.
What is
It
Raz shooting their torpedoes?
is now dead.
Ouch.
I'm Bug Raz.
Yeah. I've got this one left. Let me try.
It's a rock fact.
Try the shot now. Oh no, a 6 on the dice for this other one. Let's see. It's against a 15. That is a miss though. Shoot Magoot. Okay. Go ahead, Captain Sprouts, and see if you can support your boy. Oh jeez.
I do.
20 on the Diplo, a +5 here, Drew. To your...
Yeah, and do we still have a computer left?
Yeah. Well, that's the +5. +2 from
one, yeah.
Sprouts, +2 from computer, +1 from Xantos.
Whew. All right.
Let's do this, Drew.
That's a 19 on the dice. That's a 29 to hit.
Yeah, of course that's a hit. Oh, I forgot to shout out one of our Patreons when I rolled that 20 that finally got through. I'm so used to being like, never mind. Thank you, Ice King Nexion, for your support on patreon.com. For those of you who are not supported yet, we got some fun stuff in the works in the future. I can't wait to talk about it. There's a poll that's just finished, and we're gonna have some new content there for the $400 tier. That's hit Drew. Roll. Gosh, 3d8?
Only a measly 3d8. Ugh.
Oh, it's so much.
12 points of damage.
All right, and that is a single critical threshold, so go ahead and roll D100.
Oh, I do love doing this.
I love starships that don't have shields, because it's like big explosions, the guns are glitching all over the place.
That's a 38 on the D-Hundo.
Speaking of guns glitching all over the place, -2 to this one's weapons, and that is the end of turn 4. Turn 5! Raz has got to do something, right? This starship combat.
I believe in you, Raz.
He's gonna try and fix the glitch. He's got it. He's totally got it. Oh, I've got it. 16 on the dice.
Yay! Let's keep it going. And do we have another Devasho divert? Devasho divert?
You got this, Devasho.
Devasho divert? No, Devasho does not divert.
6 on the dice.
Oh no, he airlocked Raz. No.
Let's go ahead and skip on to helm phase and do this opposed roll. You are no longer glitching for the piloting check here, Rebecca.
Sweet.
And I've rolled a 3, so I'm gonna go first, and it's gonna try to back off. And it fails the back off, right? No, I think it just needs an 11. So I've rolled a 4 on the dice. Thank goodness. Let me double check that. Back off is 10 plus 1.5 the tier. Okay, so I've just made the back off, and it will beep, bop, boop, bop, boop, move back about 6 hexes, keeping its front arc angled towards your aft. Go ahead and move.
All right.
Flip and burn. Flip and burn.
I mean, I could just turn in place. I mean,
you could also just do that. Yeah, that's. I suppose that's true.
I would love to get out of this thing's firing arc, because don't we know that they only have weapons on their forward arc?
Yeah, flip and burn, it says move at half speed and turn 180.
Oh.
Well, you move at half speed, and at the end, you turn 180.
Right.
Oh, so you can't flip and then move.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, turn in place is just as good, I guess. So.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's no skill check. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn in place.
just
you want to take a +2 from the computers on that?
Yeah, I imagine this huge cruise ship just like very slowly turning.
Lumbering.
Clang, 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 clang.
We're not wasting any fuel on a flip and burn. Turn around, guys. Okay, let's, Captain, are you encouraging or do you want to demand this round? Yell in Echo 7's ear.
No, I mean, Echo 7 performed last time, so I'm just going to continue to encourage.
Okay. Whew.
23.
Knocking these dice rolls out. 17 on the dice. I'll roll my attack first. What happens? A -2. Oh, a 3 on the dice. Great. Fleet Furies are amazing. That is a miss. Go ahead and roll. We are in the front arc, and you, Trest, if you want, you can jump on. There is another.
Oh, there's a second gun in the front arc. Yeah,
there's a gyro laser. It's 5 hexes, so you're going to have some negatives there.
Okay.
Well, the turn's 5 hexes too, so
I might as well. Yeah. With a point weapon, you can't fire out of your first arc.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. It's like a very short range. Whereas this, it's just going to be a -4 Trest.
All right, so -4. So I'm rolling +2, -4. So technically a -2. Here we go.
What did you want to take the computer?
Yep.
Oh, well then that would just be a straight die roll.
Oh,
right.
Hooray! A 15.
That's a hit. Oh goodness gracious.
Oh boy!
Roll.
All right, here comes a D8.
8. Oh man!
8. Yes!
Damn it!
Oh goodness!
Well done.
That's another critical threshold. Go ahead and roll it.
Huzzah! I'm helping. 92.
That is going to be the power core.
Yes.
Don't want any more of those. Drew, go ahead and make your attack now at a +5 again.
+5. Yeah, because that's with the computer, right?
Yep.
19 on the dice.
Another
That's a 29
19
to hit.
Go ahead and roll it.
5d8. 5d8. 22 points
Better
of
roll.
damage.
Oh yeah, and it goes up in a ball of flame from multiple hits this round. Oh goodness gracious! How much did it have left? I think it had 17 or 18, and that one shot will indeed light it up, light up a little puff of light in the night sky here, and we're out of combat.
Well done, team.
Good job,
work.
gang.
I go down below deck and I give Raz a high five, just like like a good game high five.
Oh yeah. It explodes. There's a small little yellow orb out above, kind of planet Suskelin behind you, and yeah, its wreckage just joins hundreds of other ships out there.
That one's for Linmari.
Ooh. As you all get free of this and catch your breath, Xantos says, we've taken some damage here, but are in good shape. We might be limping the rest of the way until Ultranius without a drift drive, though. Zinnia, as I was saying before the swarm interrupted, what's the fastest route you can plot?
What is the fastest route that I can plot?
Yeah, you don't know this as you weren't a pilot before. It's a DC 15 to plot a course within the system. So go ahead and make me that piloting check now. DC 15. I don't think you can.
18.
Don't think you can fail this bad enough to where it takes longer plotting a bad course. That is a success. So go ahead and roll me a D6.
2.
The route you plot through the system, using like the gravity of Suskelin to kind of slingshot you over there, is going to take 4 days to reach the nearest planet in the system, where the majority of Suskelin, including the SDF command structure, has evacuated to. So 4 days from now.
Can we hook up the drift drive that's in the box?
You can try. It did seem like, they sent it back for a reason, so it might need to be repaired. That's something you can look at, those of you who are engineering minded. I will say, you are a little more exposed when you're not in the drift, and just using your standard engines.
I'm going to go downstairs and start distributing some rations to some of the
evacuees.
The evacuees that we have on board, yeah.
Yeah,
make sure that everybody's fed and make sure everybody is, if not happy, at least not angry.
Oh, they seem pretty happy. Kogori Gishi is there, the council person, who's like, you all won. You did such a great job. Bless you.
Of course, yes. It was mostly a team effort, although a great deal of leadership from yours truly. And don't tell the others I said that, because it was they feel very self-conscious about how little
try to get back to work.
Oh yes, sir. Right away, sir. And I hop to.
I imagine you're shouting down from the top of the stairs, Sprouts, over in the back in the hangar, or what is this room called?
I think Devasha would probably come up to Zinnia at some point and say,
I have sent you a map of the starship with points pointed out where I have ripped out strategic systems as I tried to manufacture some power out of the ship. I apologize, but they will probably need to be repaired.
Zinnia lets out an audible sigh and sets off to repair the damage.
Have you guys ever seen a truck starship before? It's just like panels open all over the place. Xantos comes up. I was going to say Xantos comes up behind Sprouts real quick and says, if you indeed do plan to captain this vessel, perhaps you should tell these passengers your plan. How is it you suppose we're going to be able to make it back to Ultranius safe and sound, huh, Marlo?
I'm trying to think a little more what Sprouts would say. to him, what do you mean if I plan on captaining? You just saw what we did just now, didn't you?
I saw you acting on the bridge, but that's not what leadership is. You're going to have to assure these people that they're going to be all right. Do you have that in you?
I'll take care of it. Don't you worry. You do your job and I'll do mine.
Drew, I interrupted. What did you say for Echo 7?
Echo 7 was just going to go down to Raz and say, you could be the cattywampus of this season.
Wow, we went back just for that.
It wasn't worth the joke at that point. It wasn't worth the joke at that point. So just let it go.
Real good.
Would have been good in the moment, but that ship sailed.
As you get to walking off, Sprouts Xantos says, just as I thought, you all were just winging everything. I can't believe you made it off the planet alive with that mentality. I'm sick of the SCF just doing a good enough job. Am I supposed to place my life in your hands?
You're not dead yet, are ya?
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. You're not dead yet, are ya?
Not yet, no, but...
Then shut your mouth and we'll keep it that way.
You've got a lot of nerve talking to me like that when I've just got one thing to say to you, Marlowe. To be continued.
I was about to say Sprouts walks away.
No, let me say this quick. The episode goes on forever unless I do. Just kidding. The episode doesn't go on forever. This is technically the end, but not really, because in addition to it being the end of the episode, the end of the book is also a level up for you guys.
Hey!
Right. Level 3. Not a big one at all in Starfinder.
Yeah, almost nobody gets weapon specialization at level 3.
Not if you multi-class like a cool kid,
I suppose.
Unlike past level ups, I thought before this episode wraps up, we just take a quick moment and talk about your guys' new abilities instead of the beginning of the next episode, because you've had some time. You knew this was coming, as I told you this was going to be the last episode of the book. And so, yeah, just one thing about your character. Everyone's getting a little more powerful. I understand that. Everyone gets a feat, level 3. Who's got a cool ability or feat that you want to shout out?
I've got a pretty cool ability.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so my connection, my mystic connection improves. So the Warmonger mystic gets a new connection, which is summon reinforcements, which sort of buffs up the summon creature spell.
Right.
So if you use summon creature to summon like multiple creatures, they each get like sort of like a +1 to AC and to hit to saves, and so they get a little buff. But additionally, if I spend an RP when I cast the spell, I can cast it as a standard instead of a full round action.
So you're moving in and just and they would pop in like that.
They pop in on the round, yeah, exactly. So it's like
that's
you
a
could get
pretty major
attacks in.
difference.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Yeah,
yikes!
And so it's a fun one. I'm excited to play with it.
I thought you were joking because before we started recording, you said you were just taking toughness as a feat. I was like, that's nothing. Okay, well,
I mean that too, but
who wants to follow that up?
Well, I'm taking a feat that I don't think I've used before, and I don't think anyone in the podcast has used before yet. 3-point stance.
What's that?
What would it be?
You have learned the value of using an extra limb to help stabilize yourself in combat. As long as you have one free hand, not being used to wield a weapon or hold anything, you take 1d6 less damage from falls and do not fall prone when you take damage from a fall unless you are unconscious. Which that in and of itself is not bad, but for this AP, you also gain a +2 to your KAC against grapple and trip attempts when you have a free hand, as well as to acrobatics and athletic checks to move in 0G. And since I have an elf fan, I always have a free hand.
Yeah, cool. It's a little cheaty to have this octopus thing on your back, but that honestly, even the falling and not falling prone, it's pretty great.
That's good, but because we've had the dredgers and stuff, and
things trying to grab onto you a ton. That's a good call.
Cool.
Mine's really boring, so I'll go next. My feat is improved on arm strike. It gives me some extra bonus, but I have to hit level 4, so it doesn't do anything at this level. So bye.
Boo. Improved unarmed strike is You can take it at level 3, but why doesn't it do anything?
Because it increases your unarmed attack damage at level 4. Level 3. I mean, you can take it. I could have taken it at level 1 or whatever.
Gotcha.
Because what it really does is make your attacks lethal, but which is like, I mean, cool. But which is why you might take it at level 1. But for me, with the shield, all it really does is once I do hit level 4, instead of doing the 1d3 damage with the shield, I'll be doing 1d6.
This is a little more proactive than anything else.
Yeah. Because I don't want to wait. Otherwise, I have to wait until level 5 to get it.
Cool.
So
did Solarian give you anything cool or
sidereal influence?
Hey, Alindra used. No, she never used that.
Hey, she's in book 2 when it was appropriate. What about an Echo 7 or Zinnia?
I can go. Mine is also pretty boring, but I did want to say that as an operative, and this applies to Miles as well, our trick attack damage goes up to 1d8 at this level.
Yeah. So, goodness gracious.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, that more than makes up for your weapon specialization only being like a +1 damage, because you can still do potentially more than most everyone else.
Out of curiosity, what feat you pick up?
Mobility.
Oh, good call.
Because I'm always flying away and getting attacks of opportunity on me, so figured I'd give myself a bonus.
Drew, Echo 7, what you got?
So soldiers get their first gear boost at level 3.
Oh, yes.
And I am looking right now at doing something from the character operations manual called Nimble Juggernaut. So what Nimble Juggernaut does, it reduces your armor check penalty for armor by 1 to a minimum of 0, and it also, if you have any speed adjustments, it reduces that by 5. So if you're wearing armor like Echo 7's currently wearing, that's a -10 speed adjustment, he would get a -5 and -1 to that armor check penalty. But Echo 7's an Amaranta, and that stacks with his racial bonuses. So I will now get a -10 to the penalty and a -2 to the armor check penalty.
That's pretty great. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, basically have like no penalty for wearing heavy armor. It like you are the heavy armor.
Yeah.
I am the armor.
I'm the armor man. And you're still very mobile. You have a 30-foot movement, so get around that battlefield, get those good shots that you need.
If I could say one more thing while we're on the subject of new things we get, I am picking up a new spell from the Near Space book that just came out, like within like a day or so of this being recorded, and I'm picking up Defrex Hardiness.
Oh my goodness! I shouldn't have pointed that out to you. How good it is!
It's so amazing. It's so good.
What is it?
It's specifically it's for like melee mystics.
Yeah, it's great. It's a range touch spell. You cast it and you touch somebody, and they get a damage reduction equal to
caster level.
Your caster level. So
there's no cap on it either.
Right. In addition to that, you also the person who gets it casts on them also gets like a spikiness, and I forget what the damage is, but like
I think it's
anyone who like attacks you with like
caster level as well. Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I think that's well, and so the drawback for the spell is it's minutes per level, but still.
Yeah, if you know you're about to walk into a fight, you can just like be like, well,
so
all those dredgers, if they
you,
attach they're just taking automatic damage every time they stay attached. So it's like the anti-dredger.
Yeah, you're like a real spiky friend.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a good thing that you will never face another dredger for the rest of this campaign. They're all on Susclan, and that's behind you now. So let's go for those flying ranged aliens that are going to shoot you from above and grapple Xenia in the air. Boy, oh boy. I told you guys, Near Space was coming out. That's when you're getting ready to level up. So if anybody want to take options, that was an option for us. Such a cool book. I can't wait to consume it completely. I really can't wait to do some adventuring in the Veskarium in the Starfinder world. But that is not in the cards for your characters as you're going to Ultranius next. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you for playing with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
bud.
you. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Cheers, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Get home safe.
Crit bit commencing in 3, 2, 1. Crit bit initiated.
Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Crit Bits. I am not your GM, Jason Keeley, and I'm joined by who I consider my friends, but not my players, not yet at any rate. Drew, Miles, and Tyler. Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing. That whisper, sending chills up and down my spine. It's been a bit of an adventure for the three of you, and of course Rebecca and Gilbert. But we're gonna break down that particular adventure because we have with us. I'm so excited to talk to you. The adventure of Fate of the Fifth, Mr. Patrick Brennan. Patrick.
Guys, thanks for having me on so much. I can't believe
It's our
you
pleasure.
made room in the schedule.
Yeah, no, thank you for fitting us into your schedule. Thank you for being so humble for the entire book.
You know, to be honest, I thought I did really well.
You actually did.
When I was not humble about writing Fate of the Fifth is when I was writing it and I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I was like, I was so jazzed and so excited.
And we know we have you write those so far in advance. Sometimes that it can be a real tough to hold that information in. But you can always talk to your developer, which in this case was me. So Patrick, let's
a lot of conversation.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your experience in writing this. The rest of you, if you have any questions about any particular encounters and thoughts, and if you want to ever, of course, ask me why I might have changed something, I'll be happy to answer those questions.
They have some very pointed questions.
I think there's one change in particular we'd like to talk about.
Now, keep in mind that because I am just a mere humble listener of the Cosmic Crit podcast, I am not quite up to the end of the book for that you've recorded so far. So,
don't worry. You've probably already listened to the Force March.
The Force March. Love it.
Well, should we talk about that first?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Sure.
Patrick, I do want to open with a question that I have asked to most of the AP writers that we have on here.
I know what it is.
Who do you think you are?
How dare you?
That was basically what I think what all of us were waiting to open with was, first of all, how dare you?
Question 1, how dare you? And question 2, who do you think you are? Those are classic ones. I think I'm Patrick, and as I talked to Jason about this when we started this process 2 years ago, I started playing with you guys in a homebrew game, and I tried to put myself back in that mind frame of like, okay, well, what kind of adventure things, mystery things would there be in the adventure path that specifically Drew and Rebecca and Miles, Bert, and Tyler would be like, oh, wow. And a lot of that experience I got from playing with you guys for the last 3 years. So specifically playing through the other adventure paths that we've done and Starfinder scenarios and what have you.
I do have a question, honestly, for the both of you. For Fate of the Fifth and really for this entire campaign so far, it's pointedly more difficult than the prior two that we had played. To me, as a level 1 player and as a relatively new player, was that a conscious effort? Patrick, I'm sure it was on your part, but Jason, was that a conscious effort to have something that was a little bit more advanced come out?
Yeah, I think so. When writing up the outline for the entire AP, I definitely wanted this first volume to be bleak. That what happens at the end is that things don't go super great. Everyone, players should continue on and live and whatnot. But the fate of the fifth, it ends up being not great. So that it becomes difficult. So that later on, and you'll hopefully experience this, when you get to do things that make you feel really like big damn heroes, then you'll it'll be all the sweeter.
And I've definitely gotten that, especially as, even as we've leveled up a little bit, but just as far as the storytelling goes with this volume, it puts you in situations where you do have to make kind of tough calls or calls that could potentially derail your entire party. And I mean, there's a lot of cool things to do and a lot of, I think, a lot of choices that feel a lot more weighty than they have in the past. And that's not to put down any prior campaign or book that we played. It's just these carried a lot more. Well, you could go this way or you could go that way, and they both might kill you.
Sure, it's war,
Right.
It's heck.
War is HE double hockey sticks.
It never changes as well.
And this does kind of speak to, Patrick, I think kind of your forte in these bleak science fiction stories, because that tends to be what you like the most. So when you were talking, I know at the beginning of the book, you talked about how you went back and looked at a lot of war movies and a couple science fiction films. Were you wanting to give a experience that, I don't know what I want to say, but like wore out the players?
Well, so yeah, that was kind of the mission, to peel back the curtain a little bit. And we've talked to other Paizo authors, AP authors about this. They get like a page outline or so, a couple page outline of like some major beats of what's going to happen. And, the long and short of Fate of the Fifth was the players retreat. They lose and they go back and eventually they leave the planet. So,
right.
One of the things I added to that was, I kind of developed the planet Suskelin to be a planet of extremes, and I went back to real life, wars when it gets the absolute most difficult, and that's during the winter time. So it's like, let's set it during the winter, and I also kind of wanted to do that because the previous AP is set on the sun, so it's a lot of very hot fire motifs. So I wanted to immediately cool it down. When the art for Fate of the Fifth and the entire Adventure Path came back, and it was like a kind of a blue and green motif, I was very excited because I was like, all right, that that kind of is a nice contrast to Dawn of Flame. But yeah, I think the bleakness was already in the idea of the outline of what's the fate of the Fifth. It's decimated. At the end of it, you guys are probably some of the last 5th Battalion members, and you're some of the last to get off the planet alive.
So I want to just sort of jump in and sort of tweak my own cleverness horn, so to speak. I don't know if you probably told this to you, Patrick, but obviously there's the 5th Battalion, and that's most likely where most people will think of what Fate of the Fifth means. But Suskelin is also the 5th planet of the solar system.
Oh.
So I did that little double meaning there that I hope people catch up on. Yeah, toot toot.
Well, that's something I wondered if the players got, or when they got that in the first part. Did you guys think that Suskelin was just going to be out of the campaign, just taken off?
No, I really thought we were going to be on Suskelin for at least 2 books.
I thought we were going to honestly find out more of why the swarm came to Suskelin.
Oh, you'll find out more stuff.
I thought it was strange that this entire time we went through this whole situation, this whole scenario, and we don't get an answer to that. Like, we know that the swarm are there, but that's ultimately not exactly the point of what the character's doing. So that's all kind of, Drew as a person playing the campaign. I want to know all these details, but the characters, they have a mission. They're going to do that mission, and the rest of that is story that will hopefully get told at some point. But
yeah, of course. Jason was kind enough to allow put in some of a little, not spoilers, but little hints and I don't know.
Foreshadowing. I gotta have that.
A lot of foreshadowing. Yeah, a lot of foreshadowing of what's going on. And I'm honestly, any GM who runs this campaign can go through and read the other 5 books and do more if they want. I have like maybe a little bit more that will be coming, but it is a greater mystery why Suskelin, why in such with such speed, what's happening psychically on the planet.
Yeah, let's. Can we get into some more like details about that? Just a little bit.
You can,
if
but you're not going to.
I mean, just talking about. I'm talking more about foreshadowing. I know. I'm just talking about like the foreshadowing of it because I'm specifically. Let's talk about the Temple of Hylax. Let's talk about
Zelanan.
So that was a very interesting thing because oftentimes as a player, when you run into an NPC who's at a specific location and that NPC says, I think there's something important about this place. I don't want to leave it. As players, you're like, okay, I got to figure out what is going on with this place and then try to resolve that before we leave. But that just doesn't seem to be a choice. Like, I mean, I don't know if we just failed that puzzle. And Jason, I don't know if you've listened to the part where we went to the temple, but then Rebecca pulls a crazy lady on us and just chips.
Oh yeah, Patrick told me about that. I haven't listened to this week's episode, but
that's coming up soon.
Yeah. So, I'm interested if that was kind of like that temple when you're building a scenario like that. That seems like a foreshadowing bit, something about that location and that temple and the swarm reacting to that. When you built that out, were you really trying to build the mystery of why the swarm are here and why they're going for these specific locations? I'm just trying to think about like how you go around and build a scenario like that.
That's a good question. A lot of times when I do do an outline for an AP, sometimes I do maybe forget a foreshadowing bit or a bit here and there that I have to work in later on after I've gotten all the 6 of the pieces together to stitch them up. But for the most part, like how you do this is you start at the end, right? I know what the ending of the adventure path is going to be and what the goal is of this one, right? So I can just sort of work backwards from there and hopefully get enough, or at least teasers enough that when you see the end, you can look back on the beginning and go, oh, that makes a little more sense now.
Right.
I think the reason that the Fate of the Fifth is mostly about that sort of the survival and the evacuation is because I wanted to focus on that, not necessarily the mystery just yet. And because as first level, second level characters in a war, in an army, you're grunts, you're generally not given that information, right? So It's something you've got to eventually, I'm going to tell you, eventually it'll get sussed out some way or another.
Yeah, I feel like if you're level 10 characters, you'd be like, we're fortifying this location and we're going to hold it against all the swarm. But yeah, in
Admiral
context,
Echo 7.
In the context of this story, there's nothing you can do. And you did what you're supposed to do. Spoilers, where you're trying to convince this priest to give up, his what he thinks his calling is and where he's lived for many years. Which is something that happens in war.
Whose idea was the Force March?
I'm pretty sure it was in the outline.
Was it? And I wanted it to be tough. I mean, I think Patrick, you definitely get in there. I mean, like sort of threw it all in there, right? And it's just they have to retreat, and you're like, I'm gonna make them do a Force March. I'm like, I love the sound of that.
Well, there's actually one of the things in developing for the outline up where I turned in kind of a more fleshed out version of it as kind of like a general first draft of like bullet points of what happens. I went through the core rule book and I was like, okay, what rules haven't really been used in the APs so far for monsters, for players, things like that. Obviously, like cold dangers and things like that have been used, but I don't think Force March specifically had been a big enough of many of them. I mean, there's definitely points where GMs can add those rules in because players are walking for X amount of hours per day. Like the jungles of Castrovel in book 2.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of as a comparison.
Yeah.
Yes. So I just looked for things that hadn't been done yet. And yeah, Force March. I was like, well, that's the most soldier thing I can think of. So I think it might have been suggested in the outline, but I was like, oh, this is definitely going to be a part of this like opening third of the book.
By the way, look at us trying to blame each other for the Force March.
So here's
that actually brings me to a question. I'm sorry, Patrick. Go ahead, and then I'll ask.
No. You is it about the Force March?
No, it's not about the Force March. So
just on the Force March, I definitely turned in rules that I hoped were going to get used about how long the Force March went on, and they were changed in editorial for great reason. My suggestion was a variable hour or amount of time that they would have to be under forced march for GMs to use and be like, oh, well, maybe they can take a little bit more, yada, yada. But that doesn't work when you're talking about the amount of distance a player party can travel.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to plan for that because what if someone chooses a Morlamau in heavy armor and only has a speed of 15? It makes a 24-hour or 24-mile march.
You take it off. You have to take all that off. You gotta go.
You're flippering through the wilderness.
I think it was such a good decision. I know we hate on it here because it was hard, but it's all said and
Miles.
Miles, you have no say. But I mean, going back to what you guys were saying about bleakness, I mean, there is nothing more bleak than when pretty much right out of the gate of an AP, you're doing a rule set you are definitely not familiar with.
I wasn't at all.
Any player was familiar with Forest March rules, and for a character like my character who only had 3 resolve points at the beginning, and you're just watching those, you're like, I'm barely through this book, and I have no RP. I'm out. I have 1. I can stabilize, and that's all I could do. It's terrifying because, like let's just compare it to the beginning of books of Dead Sons, where you fight some gang members, and for the most part, they're just human gang members that you just that Adross just beat on. And I don't think I used an RP from the beginning of the book up until like the end of the Ferrani Nadaz fight. Versus in Fate of the Fifth, it was just like, okay, the book starts. Okay, the 2 dredgers on you. You burn an RP to stabilize or to get back your stamina. Okay, Force March, you just burn an RP left and right.
But I feel like that was also
a great way to set up bleakness.
I feel like that was also true in the the Aeon Throne, that it seemed harder. Like Dead Sons, when you look at it, is a campaign that went to a lot more places, did a lot more stuff to show the breadth of what Starfinder can be. And since then, we've been going on these very focused campaigns, and this is just maybe the most focused that we've been on as far as an AP book is concerned, because we really go to 2 places in this entire campaign, maybe 3.
We go to Brunoa, Fort Gallant, and Rios.
And the prison.
Rio. Oh,
but even the prison is on the
quest.
way to the main thing, and it's a lot of hunkered down. There's not a lot of NPCs outside of the places that you go. You're not really talking to new people in different spots. You're just kind of going and doing the mission. And
you're soldiers, and you have one job, and that's to protect people and fight the enemy. So,
go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
So you get other jobs in the future for sure. Other missions.
I would like to ask a question, and sort of aside from the Force March, because I would like to know 2 things. What's the one thing that Patrick wanted to include that was considered too difficult, if anything, and what did Patrick put in that was not difficult enough, and the difficulty spike had to be raised? Outside of the Force March.
Yeah, you're asking a question of something that is something I did over a year ago.
It's a while ago.
A long time ago.
I will expand that to, what did Patrick want to include that got cut in editing?
I can answer it because I remember what Rob McCreary said was way too tough of a fight, which was the last fight in the hangar bay.
Oh yeah.
My suggestion was to just have just swarm dredgers coming in like every round, like maybe a new one every round.
Oh my god!
It would make sense.
Or like every other round. Yeah, because they're there and they're just like filtering through. But I don't think I had the Vorfoma originally in that fight. Maybe, or I think it was just dredgers and that Korvox. And at that point, my hope was dredgers are not that much of a problem for you guys to handle. So,
yeah, it becomes a question of this or that. Specifically, there's a CR, and even though they're like 1/2, and enough of them is still too much of them.
Yeah.
If we're even for 2nd level characters, not even like 3rd level.
You make that a time fight and not a beat all the bad guys fight.
Yeah. And that's what it ended up being.
I will say in regards to dredgers, since we're kind of on them, dredgers feel different than any CR half I've ever seen in Starfinder. I mean, what are some other comparable like half CR?
From
I guess
Starfinder, yeah.
Aeon Throne, the cadets were half CR.
Yeah.
I feel like I
They were
could
very
punch around 7 cadets, no problem. Just slap them around. But 3 dredgers terrify me because of that stupid attachability. Like, what a great ability that takes. Like, because normally when you have like a grunt monster, once you get to a certain level, that monster just becomes superfluous. It doesn't matter if you throw 10 of them at them; they're just going to die in one shot. They're mostly just kind of annoying. But dredgers, if you get 2 or 3 of them attached to you, it's super annoying and it's super problematic. Even if statistically they're not that bad, I think the mental aspect of just like I have 3 creatures attached to me is like panic inducing. So
Tyler, wait until book 3.
Oh no!
What are you going to say about
Yeah, you don't like things attaching to you? Is that what you said, Tyler?
We will remember this day, Jason Keeley. We will remember it.
Time.
It's less about that and more about the you'll see some dredgers again.
They're not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
And that's good. I like them.
But these are dredgers that dredge on each other, and then they form a super dredger, like a Megazord, but dredgers.
I'll throw in just like 5 or
boy.
6 in every fight in the later books as well for you guys to one hit kill immediately.
I mean, that's the thing. Tyler is playing a Solarian, and we saw Alindra go from being like, "Oh, this is tough," to like buffed out, like Flicka.
Super Saiyan.
She went from like beginning of God of War to end of God of War in terms of power.
She was like very heavily first she was a weapon Solarian and she was a photon Solarian. So
okay, hard mode Tyler. Let's not get into that.
I want to get to your guys's and Jason's some of your favorite parts of our playthrough so far. First, I just wanted to touch on things that I wasn't able to talk about while we were doing the campaign because I couldn't spoil stuff. I joked about on the podcast about you guys marching from Rio City to the mountains. That was originally in the campaign. Because
what?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, there's just no way to, have vehicles on the roads right now because it's so dangerous. But whether that had been a forced march, I think it was a lot less space. Very wisely, that was changed to give you a vehicle and being, a little less of a time concern.
There would have been mutiny, Patrick. Mutiny.
It wouldn't have been a forced march at that point. It would have just been like you had to walk from Rio City to the Gyarados Mountains, right? And that felt to me like it would have taken too long to walk and then walk back. The swarm would have gotten to you by then. So I was like, let's make that a little quicker, give them a vehicle, and you can, you basically picture it in terms of that some of those opening scenes from The Walking Dead, where one of the highways is completely empty, but the other leaving is completely full. So leaving Rio City, driving up, and then you can just drive on that side of the highway on the way back, right?
Yeah, which by the way, I've been in Atlanta traffic. Cars would be going out both sides of that.
100%.
Least realistic thing about The Walking Dead.
I mean, if we're talking about favorite moments,
we can move on to that. Tyler, do you have one burning?
I mean, now this is obviously unconfirmed, but I think my favorite moment was having what I assume to be the boss of the AP, the book 6 cover art creature, landing at the end and kind of chasing you out off the planet. I mean, 6 heads, insectoid-like, legs. Was terrifying and really, really cool. Now, whether it is that or not, I don't know. But the way it definitely seemed that way, having all the books in front of me, like I do, although I can't open any of them.
No, I just made up this 5-headed swarm monster for you guys.
Yeah, but that was really, really cool. Having very rarely do we kind of get to see the I don't know, the big bad, maybe the big bad of the AP or something so advanced and difficult early on in a book. having that thing kind of just come out and make everybody poop their pants, rolling that will save and having essentially it's almost like an instant fail unless I think you roll a 20, just to show off like how much overwhelming power it has was really cool. It was a good moment.
That's something that we often sometimes get notes about from the players and customers, is that you don't know who the big finale boss is often, or you don't see them that often because we can't necessarily have you fight them because they would kill you, or if they're not strong enough you would kill them, but too early. So they just have to do a lot of that for really think about that foreshadowing.
Well, especially when you talk about something like the Swarm, that unlike any of the other enemies that we have faced, they don't really, at least as far as we are in this campaign, talk in a way that we can just understand. You can't capture a swarm and beat it up and knock one of its eyes out to get information on its boss. You have to just kill it. And Tyler's laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. That poor Kish. But
my Kish.
You don't overhear a conversation between two street gang guys that are talking about their gang leader inside the bar, that you don't.
It makes it harder and easier because it is an unknowable enemy. So I don't want to say your morals in fighting them are a little easier, but at least your RP interactions, taking them prisoner might not be the best.
Well, and there's an impersonality to all of this that really works with the war aspect, because it's an invasion force in a place that most of our characters have called home, and when we don't know the name of anything, we just know the that's a dredger. That's any of the other myriad creatures we came across. I don't know. That's and you start to get into who's the real villains? Who's the real Walking Dead kind of like? Humanity's the real bad guys.
What's the real fate of the fifth?
Yeah, and that's where I personally I start when we go to any of the forts and we meet civilians. I'm suspicious of everybody at that point because we haven't had any enemy NPCs to attach ourselves to yet.
I want to jump in because it's sort of one of my favorite bits that's you're gonna see more of, is that Patrick did a great job and just in creating the NPC that you're all gonna love to hate, good old Xantos Lochwort.
What are you talking about? He's a member of the crew. He's like the sixth Beatle. They love him completely, right?
Sprouts hates him so much.
Yeah,
he is the Yoko of our group.
just the name Lochwort. It was so good. Good name, and
what a name!
I hope we get to see more of him.
Where did that come from? And I was like, a loach is a fish.
Yeah.
It's in Animal Crossing New Horizons now, which is why
I caught one today.
Right.
And much like the fish in Animal Crossing, he looks at me with reproach.
Yeah. And Xantos, I'm not sure. I feel like that name has been used before in other places, but it just felt like a sciencey name,
Yeah.
But yeah, Lochworts. That person is called by their last name by everyone that they work with.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Lochwort, get over here, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, he's 0 out of 10. It's a good job.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Sprouts really hates him, and I don't know when this airs compared to when an episode comes out, but Sprouts does not have good conversations with him at all.
Oh yeah, no. Spoiler warning: at the end of the book one, you know that Xantos is on board the Terminus Wild with these folks, and he's a major player. He's fun.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
I've been in every interaction between Sprouts and him. I've been pointedly having Xantos call you Marlowe.
I have noticed that.
I was hoping you're gonna go back and call him Lochworth nonstop.
Well, but also keep in mind, Sprouts is kind of used to being referred to as his last name as a gumshoe. Yeah. It's like
and as a soldier, you guys
right. So it's not a big deal for him. One thing, my favorite part, it's not really a part, but it was something that I consistently noticed throughout this book was the general atmosphere of uncertainty. No matter where we were, and part of it has to do with Patrick Lear's storytelling as a GM, but I know a lot of it is in the book itself, is this idea of, you don't know what's going to happen. There could be something around any corner. And I know that sounds a little cliche given that we're playing a genre RPG, but the element of war really adds a different sort of tension in the atmosphere. And as a player, I really felt it. Like every action, every conversation, there was this kind of shroud of dread of what was going to happen next. And I really, really enjoyed playing that, because even when we went into what we thought was Shelter for the first time, there are all these uncertain elements with, politically, with the guy rousing things up, and the scientist who was a little off, and then there was Render. But there was always something. There's no reprieve in this book, and I find that really exhilarating as a player.
Yeah. To be honest, I was hoping like part 2, where you're traveling up to the Jurdas Mountains, is like the restful part of the campaign.
But I'm like, no, we're going to this prison.
You did get to rest at in Linmari. So
we got to rest in Linmari after the body snatcher slime.
There's not a lot of downtime in this AP. That is correct.
Yeah.
But I think
which is great.
Yeah, I think it's fun, especially as someone who has, Starfinder is really the first RPG that I have consistently played in my entire life. And as someone who started off with Dead Suns, where I felt like I was getting a taste, and then doing Against the Aeon Throne, where I got, my first like kind of pointed campaign, I feel like it's just kind of gradually leveling up in terms of the storytelling and the difficulty. And I'm really appreciating that as a player, as having different ways to get involved with a story that's being told.
Well, to wrap us up here tonight, like I said, I'm glad you guys enjoyed Fae of the Fifth, but every book after the previous one gets crazier and more insane. As soon as you
so it's a Paizo book.
Well, exactly. As soon as you think you have a handle on where things are going, there will be a twist, and then you'll be like, "Oh, this is a crazier new norm." And then book 5 will happen, and then you'll be like, "What?" And then book 6, and
that's what I've come to love about Paizo's games, because this is the first company that I've had a consistent playing with, and I think the storytelling across the board, not just with you, Patrick. I think you did an amazing job. I'm really proud of you as your friend. I think you did fantastic.
Well, thank you.
But I do think every author seems to have brought their A game. The storytelling across the board in Paizo's Adventure Pass, from conception to execution, has been, just top notch. I really feel like I've gotten an amazing experience every book I've played.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Miles. Interestingly, that you sort of talk about the sort of evolution a bit of the storytelling and whatnot. That is actually mirroring my own sort of process, my own evolution, my own experience gaining in actually developing Adventure Pass, because I hadn't done that before book 5 of Dead Suns, and then from then on I did Against the Aeon Throne, and then Signal Screams, and then now this one. So I am learning as I
Well, I think it's a great way to introduce players. Like, I think Dead Suns is the perfect introduction. Like,
it's meant to be that. So we did a good job. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
You did a good job. Good
You're okay with this game that we love completely. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up?
Oh, this is gonna be the last
time saying that, because I'm the host here.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get above yourself, Brennan.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really gotta go.
So when can we see Patrick's next book, Jason?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
We'll see how long this forced quarantine lasts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but for real, anyone want to say anything before we head out?
No, I think I've asked everything I want to.
I'm ready.
You can find me at Cosmic Crit on Twitter. My website's cosmiccrit.com, guys.
Right.
You can buy this book on Paizo.com.
I'm just really happy that we don't have to be so vocally proud of Patrick after this.
Yeah.
After this, I can say, oh man, this AP author is really treating you guys unfairly. Doing what this AP author said, I can't take any of the blame.
Oh man.
Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me host.
Yeah.
What's the send off, Jason? How do we?
Oh gosh, that's a good point. That's it for another crit bit. Tune in for our next episode where we'll be getting to the Cosmic Crit Crew and the Midnight Squad will be getting to book 2 of Attack of the Swarm, The Last Refuge. Ooh.
All right, guys. See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Cosmic Crit. This episode has been made possible through a sponsorship with Roll20 and the backing of our Critamander fans on Patreon. Thanks again and have a great week.